We'll select Watch List Rules tab 2 to build the rules, which will select the symbols to put into our watch list. These rules down here are all the rules that are in this strategy, and they result in only 7 symbols being selected. And here are the 7 symbols. To add a rule to your watch list, you select something, an indicator from the left column. For instance, yesterday's volume is greater than some indicator, and you can put a percent or shares. Let's say greater than 1 million shares. Okay, it shows it here. Yesterday's volume is greater than 1 million shares. You can click Add Rule now to add that rule, and it puts it down here. When you click a rule down below, it highlights all the fields that were used to create that rule. So if you want to change something at the top, you can simply click the rule, or click on the rule, click Delete Selected Rule, and it removes it from the list, but it leaves the fields up here. So let's change this to 1,500,000 shares. And click Add Rule. Now only one symbol, though, meets our conditions. So that's a little bit too tight. You have an automated trader. You should allow it to retrieve more symbols than just one so that it can trade. So let's go ahead and click on that rule. Let's delete that rule again. And let's change this to, let's say let's just put 500,000 shares. Add rule. Okay, 4 symbols meet our conditions now. And we already have these other rules in here. Here we're saying the average true range over 14 days is greater than or equal to 8 cents, $0.08. Without that rule, if we delete the rule, see, we only have 4 symbols in the watch list. Without that rule, we have 6 symbols now that meet our conditions. Here we have institutional ownership percent is greater than 10, greater than or equal to 10. If we were to remove that rule, we now have 8 symbols that meet our conditions. But let's put that rule back. I think that's a pretty important rule. Institutional ownership percent is greater than or equal to 10. Add rule. You can also put things in here. You can compare indicators like the 2-day average volume is greater than yesterday's volume. Or we could say 100,000 shares. The 2-day average volume is at least 100,000 shares greater than yesterday's volume. Add rule. Now, of course, only one symbol meets that condition. But it's a lot of these other symbols that are restricting the symbols from coming in the list. Like yesterday's close price is less than or equal to $2. This particular strategy only wants stocks no more than $2 per share. And it also has a rule that says yesterday's close price is greater than or equal to $1. So in order to meet these conditions, a stock can only be between $1 and $2. Okay, so that's how to add rules to your list. And at the same time you're adding and removing rules, the number of symbols in the watch list that are meeting those conditions will change. If I remove the $2 limit for the max price, 18 stocks now meet our condition, because most of these stocks are all over $2. Okay, you can also select different sectors. Like I can say, I don't like financial stocks. You simply uncheck financial and it'll take the financial symbols out of the list. If you don't want healthcare stocks, you can uncheck it. At the same time, if I don't want, let's select all of the exchanges, If I don't want the Amex stocks, I can just uncheck that and it'll take the Amex out. If I don't want the NYSE stocks, I can uncheck that and I'm reduced to just the symbols that are on the NASDAQ. So you can reduce the stocks based on sector if you want. You can also add symbols here. You see, these symbols are not showing up in this list because we haven't clicked Add My Portfolio to the watch list. This is your portfolio. So you can manually enter symbols in here. You can click Verify Symbols, and that'll make sure that these symbols are all real. And then you can click Add My Portfolio to the watch list, and you can see now HYGS is here, NGen is there, and PXLW is there. So it added these symbols to the watch list. If I only want to trade these stocks and not use these rules here at all, I can say use my portfolio or symbol files only. And that'll take out all the rules and it'll only use the stocks in my portfolio. It says and symbol files only. The symbol files option can be used up here, my symbol files. So if you were to get symbols from a file, you can actually enter the file name here and it'll pull up those symbols that are in that file. Many people use this if they get recommendations from other sources. So I'm going to put this back and we're going to say, you know what, I want to use the rules that we've established here to pick my symbols. So now we're done with tab 2. Tab 2 is where you build the watch list rules. And this is where only these symbols will show up in your automated trader, and any additional symbols that you happen to own that got carried over from a prior day. If you had open positions from yesterday and then you switch to this strategy today, when it runs, it'll bring in these symbols, it'll put them in your watch list, but then any positions that you already have open will still show up in your automated trader. However, those symbols that were carried over from the prior day will start following these rules. Now this is the long strategy, so any position you have open that is long will follow these rules here. So that's the end of the watch list rules for selecting your symbols. Next we'll go to the next tab,